Stop looking back. I've got this major problem with nostalgia. I can't stop thinking about certain periods in my life where I thought things were the best they would ever be. And we tend to look at certain sections of our life and our past with rose-tinted glasses on. And you might think that, I miss my childhood so much. I miss living here. I miss when I had this car. I miss when I used to do these things and go to these places. Our memory has its own way of distorting reality and making things seem better than they were. And at the same time, there's a lot of lessons in the past through nostalgia about these good times that you can take and learn from and enjoy and carry on with your present reality. Now that also translates to mistakes and regrets that you have for decisions you've made that you look back on and regret and wish you never committed them. You wish you could go back in time and rectify these decisions, and you dwell on the idea of who would I be had I not made these mistakes? Oh, it was so embarrassing. How could I have done this to myself? Who am I? Can I ever mentally recover from, said mistake or decision? While it's very important that we take the lessons that life teaches us from nostalgia, good memories, bad memories, and mistakes that we've made, it's important that you don't beat yourself up about it. I was going through some of my content from back in the day. And this was a period of my life where I thought I had it all. But it was also the period of my life where I was the most depressed, the most mentally in a hole. And when I kept looking at this time through rose-tinted glasses, I went back and looked at some of my content and I realized there was a lot of details in those periods that I missed. And there was a lot of experiences that I had to go through, and the lessons did not bear fruit until today. So don't beat yourself up about regret or the past, because the building blocks of your current character and personality encompasses everything from the good and the bad and the mistakes you've made. And you would not be this version of yourself, this successful version of yourself that's working on themselves, had you not made those mistakes in the past. Because the reality is, you would rather make certain mistakes, whether they are mistakes of character or bad decisions, you'd rather make them in a time where you don't have nothing to lose, so that in the future, you're not making mistakes at a stage or a critical stage in your life when you have so much more to lose. And it brings you to your current reality. Your current reality where everybody settles in life. Everybody settles in to whatever it may be, whether it's a relationship or a job or a career path or a degree or a passion, whatever. When you settle in, it's never too late to achieve something. It's never too late. 25 isn't late, 30 isn't late, 50 isn't late, 70, 90, it's never too late until you genuinely look yourself in the mirror and convince yourself that it's too late. About a year ago, I was working your traditional corporate job. I had been bouncing around different companies for about 3 years, and I quit. I had something else lined up, obviously. I quit to do something, and I left my degree behind. I left my industry behind, and everybody around me, when I would tell them, looked at me like I was crazy. But I knew what I wanted. I envisioned myself in my 50s doing what I was doing then and at that time at 27, and I couldn't fathom living like that anymore. Something inside me, something internally was just pushing me in a different path. And that's why retrospection is important. Looking at the past and learning is important, but introspection is twice as important. If you blocked out all the noise, who are you? Who are you when the lights turn off and you're by yourself? Don't place limits on yourself, and do not hold yourself hostage to regret, to mistakes, to memories, to nostalgia. Live and learn from who you are, but focus more directly on who you are now and who you want to become. I was watching a video where some guy was saying, awesome video, I'm gonna link it in the description below. He goes, imagine if you were thinking back on all these times 10 years ago and you wished you can go back in time and make better decisions or something along those lines. And he said, close your eyes and do this exercise with me. And you go through the exercise and he says, open them. You are now ahead of time and you've got 10 years in front of you. What are you going to do? How are you going to shape your reality now so when you're sitting down and looking back 10 years, in 10 years time, you're proud of yourself? I want you to be proud of yourself for the good, for the bad, for the ugly, and I want you to achieve everything you've dreamed of. And that starts today.